When I was in 4th grade, my family moved and I had to change schools. And I went up to the kids on the playground and was like, "Hey, can I play with you?" And they were like, "Sure." And I got in line. They were playing handball, and I had never played handball before. And I was like, "So, what are the rules? How do you play?" And one of the girls just said, "Hitties, hearties, poppies, if they come out, no stoppies, no waterfalls." And I was like, "What?" Like, I seriously had no idea. But I was like, she was so confident that I knew what she was saying that I was like, I can't now act like I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, that was awkward. And I kind of tried a couple more times, and I eventually just ended up wandering around the playground for months. And it was really, really hard on me. And I remember being like, I'm never going to let this happen to somebody else. If there's a new person at the school, I'm going to be kind and welcoming. And that served me really, really well all through school. And I made a lot of amazing friends just by welcoming the new person. Fast forward to adulthood. And I had just barely moved, and I was pregnant with my second child. And I went to church for the first time in this new town. And I sit next to this woman, one chair away from this woman that also has a toddler with her. And so I was thinking, I don't know, we could hit it off. And I sit down and she doesn't say anything. She didn't even say hi, nothing. And we're sitting there waiting for class to start. And other people are talking to the people sitting next to them. And she and I are just kind of sitting in silence or reading books to our toddlers or something, just kind of avoiding each other. And then, so that class comes and goes. That was it was a class just for women. And then when the women's class was over, then the men come in for Sunday school. And so her husband comes in, also doesn't acknowledge me. My husband comes in and sits down next to me. And then the guy that was teaching the Sunday school class, starts teaching, and he's like, "Oh, I noticed that we have some visitors with us today. Can you introduce yourself?" And I'm about to say something, the girl I'm sitting next to introduced herself and her husband. It was their first day too. And I was like, oh, all these things that I was thinking about her, that I was thinking she was being a jerk for not welcoming me, I was doing the exact same thing to her. And I was driving home from church that day, I was like, what do I do? I feel bad about this. I really was not kind to her at all. And I don't know why. It seemed really crazy, but I just decided that I'm always going to be welcoming, even if I'm the new person. It's the only way to make sure that I never make that mistake again, because I felt really bad about it. And it seems crazy. I'm going to go up to people and be kind and welcoming to them when I'm the new person. You would think that people would be like, "Oh, who are you?" But nobody has ever done that. It's worked out really, really well for me and served me really well in my life. Now, fast forward to where we are today, moved into the house that we're currently in. And shortly after we move in, there's a snow day and our kids are sledding down the street. And one of my neighbors comes up to me, and I totally recognized her, but I couldn't place where from. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, did you just move into the neighborhood?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And I was like, and I totally recognize you, but I don't know where from. I'm so sorry. And she was like, "Oh, from the gym. Don't you know, we do Zumba together." And she actually hadn't done Zumba in years at this point. But she once did. And I was like, I barely remember her. We danced on opposite sides of the gym. I maybe talked to her before class 1 or 2 times. And I was like, wow, I'm really surprised that you remember me, because that was a long time ago and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, I would never forget you." Because I had been going there to that gym for a long time, and I had just shown up and waited for class to start quietly, and then we danced, and then I left, and I didn't talk to anyone. And she said, the first time somebody talked to me, it was you. And it was on your first day. You walked in and walked right up to me, and you were like, "Hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm here for Zumba. Where do I stand?" Or what do people do here? She was like, that had such a big impact on me. And my point to telling this story is that I thought I'm willing to be weird if it means that I make sure nobody gets left out, nobody feels unwelcome. My experience has been that not only are people generally really, really nice about it, but apparently it can have a really big impact on people too, and can be a really great thing, not just a not that weird thing. So I encourage you to try this in small ways or in big ways. Show up to something and be the welcoming person, because they need human connection just as much as you do.